A very good afternoon, students. So, we were reading Merchant of Venice, and that suddenly and so abruptly, but it was expected that our classes had been postponed, it was deferred, and we don't know when we will see each other at our school premises. So, here through this online medium, we will continue our study, we will fight, and this is our way to fight corona, to stay at home, to prevent it getting spread, and at the same time to keep on the things that defines us, being civilized, be compassionate, and continue pursuing knowledge. These are the three things that you need to do in order to prove yourself to be a human being. That's what we are doing. So, this is the crucial stage of Merchant of Venice, what you are reading here, that is Act 4, Scene 1. This is the scene that is the first time we are at the court of Venice. Portia, in the guise of a man, a lawyer, accompanied by Nerissa, who is also taking the guise of a man, an attendant to the lawyer. Their aliases are Balthazar, and there was an attendant, which is Nerissa. They are present at the court of Venice, where Antonio and Shylock had been brought. Shylock is eager to cut flesh from Antonio's body. He is very much like a tiger who has sensed its prey, and the prey is here Antonio. He is sitting there, crestfallen, bowed, because he is burdened with the loss and loss upon loss. So many of his merchant ships, they have been miscarried in the sea, and eventually he had to face loss, which made him completely unable to pay back Shylock. And Shylock is there, who is waiting to get paid, not in the terms of money, but in the terms of Antonio's flesh. It was written in the bond that in case of forfeiture, a pound of Antonio's flesh will be its collateral, and Shylock will be entitled to cut it from any part of Antonio he desires. And Shylock is seriously willing to cut it at as close to the heart as possible, because it is heart, probably according to Shylock, where Antonio is touching all hatred, all his hatred against Shylock in particular, and the whole Jew community in general. That is why Shylock is so eager to see the heart of Antonio, to cut it open and see where all those hatred stored. This is the symbolical meaning. One more way this scene is highly symbolical and significant. Now, according to the contemporary rule, no women were allowed to take entry into the court of Venice. This is especially where boys' zone or men's zone. Now, this men's zone is pierced, shattered, and encroached upon by Portia and Nerissa. Why has it been so? See, this is not only the rule or the then custom, this is also symbolical, because Portia is doing and performing, enacting those things which the male characters should have been performed, should have enacted. Bassanio took the loan from Shylock in the name of his dear friend. So it is his onus to pay it back, but he is utterly incapable of paying it back. This is not because he doesn't have anything, but he cannot use whatever he has properly. He is a wanton boy who wastes money wantonly without even thinking about its consequence. That's what is happening, and that was happening there in 16th century England with almost all the Christian boys. They took interest in sea trade, invested a lump sum amount in the hope of having a good return. Treble, thrice, 10 times returns. They were expecting it. But yes, sometimes they got it also. Otherwise, why should they invest such a large sum of money? But the main problem is here that ships, they used to sail into the sea, perilous sea. They used to get caught under tempest. Sometimes they used to bump against the shallow flat, the icebergs. They used to get wrecked. And that's how those people who had invested such a lump sum amount of money used to digest their loss. Those who couldn't, they became bankrupt, became mad sometimes, lose their sanity, sometimes they committed suicide. Some other times they tried to borrow money from someone else in order to pay back his creditors. But after doing so, they resumed their old habits. And that is why all these Christian people, they had to beg before the Jews, who were permitted to take interest, as according to their religion, there was no bar against taking interest. But that was completely different from for the Christian people. There, according to the Bible, taking interest is a sin. So these people, they were exchanging money, borrowing and lending without an interest, means they were not multiplying the income. There was a stagnation. So if in such a scenario, which was in Venice, Venice was an entrepot right at that time, means a place where from so many import and exports are commencing. That kind of place is called entrepot. A booming economy was Venice. So why was it booming if Christians are not multiplying money? How can an economy thrive if money is not getting multiplied? So that external shot was injected into the veins of Venetian economy by the Jew. That's why they were given shelter. Though I can barely call it shelter, there was a place surrounded by lofty walls called ghetto. There all those Jews, they were instructed to stay. They could not even roam about the city after sundown. Means a third person citizenship they were enjoying, though their names were not even enlisted in the official record. That is why they were called alien, while the Christians, they were the citizens. So the society, the then society, was hostile for the Jews. That hostility, its root was found out by a great Shakespeare, and he exposed it to us in a roundabout way, making Shylock, forcing Shylock to become the villain, and showing us that it was because Antonio, his nature, his honesty, he didn't take a single rupee lent from, he didn't borrow money from Shylock. Whatever he did at his own risk, and he did it for his dear friend Bassanio. That nature, sacrificing nature, is saving Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. Antonio is the incarnation of virtue, while Shylock is vice. It's like a 15th century morality play where every time, in every single show, virtue won over vice. That's why Antonio is winning the case. But how? That is the main question here. Bassanio is utterly incapable of saving Antonio, because he can neither argue with Shylock, outwit him, nor can he arrange the money. But at last, when he won the game of casket, and got hold of money from Portia, he was ready there, but by that time it was late. Already Antonio accepted his failure to pay the bond at the right time, at the right place. So right now, when Bassanio is ready with the money, even the thrice or 6 times of the money, but already the time is spent, and Shylock is not in that mood to take money. What he aims at, it is Antonio's flesh. So no one can deter him from having Antonio's flesh, from cutting flesh from Antonio's body. That's how he wants to avenge all the wrong that was done to him. Antonio and all of the Christians, they used to spread rumor about the Jews that they take a high rate of interest. And because these Christians were indulged in lending and borrowing money without interest, these Jew people, they had to keep their interest rate low. They had to incur millions of millions loss. But still, it was because of them that the economy of Venice was running, and it was booming, proliferating. So right in that scenario, Portia and Nerissa, they are taking the guise of a man in order to show that we have to put on your shoes to save Antonio. You cannot outwit Shylock. It is we, a woman, we need to come to the show. We need to come to your rescue. That is the symbolic significance here for their men's attire. Portia and Nerissa's men's attire. It is Portia who saved Antonio, not Bassanio. It was Portia's wit that dismissed Shylock's illogical claim. She found out the flaw in the bond, and she magnified it, and by doing so, she outwit Shylock and won the case. That's what is there in this act. It's full of so many things, beautiful comments, astonishing and exciting uses of figures of speech, and it is their argument where the whole scenario is getting exposed. What was going on? What kind of person? What is the flaw in Shylock's demand? Why Antonio is correct? Apparently it seems opposite, but why is it so? Here is the only time Portia exposes it to the readers and to the spectators. In 16th century Globe, where it was performed, those groundlings and those lords who were sitting there, they thoroughly enjoyed it, and they came to know what is actually wrong going on in our society. That is the job of a literary person. And literature, this always reflects whatever is happening in the society. That is the job of literature. This is the mirror of the society. And here, this is no such exception, this drama. So let's revise whatever I had sent you. What I am going to do, this is the first introduction to this scene. Next time we will be reading word by word. I will be explaining you every single word that is written, printed here in this drama by that great bird Shakespeare. But before that, what you need to do, find out, because exam is coming, Sissy is knocking at your door. Until 225, it will be line 225, Sissy will be there. This is the syllabus, Act 4, Scene 1. So what you need to do, we have already discussed this in the class. There were some absentees, but for them I will be making videos continuously, explaining every single portions, every single aspects of this drama, whatever is written there. But what you need to do, revise it very carefully. Very, very, very carefully, I'm telling you. So that's the thing what you need to do. And today, you read it, and the moment you face any trouble in any part from this drama, don't hesitate contacting me. I will be there, and I will try my best to help you out with whatever the problem you are facing. So that's all for today, students. Next time, we will be reading every single words. Every single words will be explained, and I will be expecting your feedback whether all these things are helpful for you. That's all for today, students. Let's call it a day. Tata.